we have had almost a century of women serving in Congress, and they have proven to be extremely effective members of Congress and have risen to leadership positions and committee chairs and all this kind of thing. That is an indication of their progress. In the wake of the women's suffrage amendment, and then the early success of Jeanette Rankin being elected to the House and Rebecca Felton being appointed to the Senate, there was this I wouldn't call it a wave, but sort of a mini wave of women seeking elected office in 1922. The role of the women in the Senate really goes back to the 1920s, but only since the 1990s have the women had enough members that they've really made a huge impact on the institution. Not until 1993 were women allowed to wear slacks on the Senate chamber floor. They had to always show up in dresses and skirts, and there was no official rule that said they couldn't do that. It was just an old tradition that had never been challenged. And so one day in 1993, prompted mostly by Carol Moseley Braun, a group of women senators and top women staff all came to work in pantsuits and showed up in the Senate chamber, and that tradition went out the window. Frankly, a lot of the barriers to women in the Senate have been broken down. But there are other things that remain. I think societal expectations are still very gender-based, and I think that affects the way women, politicians in any office, go about doing their business. We can already see ways that women are shaping the institution, the way that they're taking a different take on policy making and legislation, and so it's an interesting story to watch, but it's definitely a success story, although we certainly still have a long way to go.